Hello everyone. So we got a fun little topic today. I'm actually uploading, you can see it right here. I'm actually uploading a video. Just I actually shot an example, so I'm gonna put it up on YouTube. You can see it's taken 2 more hours there, so look forward to that, I guess. But today I just wanted to do a quicker video while I'm waiting here on. I feel like the future of real estate photography and the patterns that we're going to see coming to the US. And right now, I think what we can safely say is the model by which houses are listed, and I think it does help to understand this stuff as a photographer. Um, the model that agents list houses is somebody wants to sell their house, and so the homeowner sort of gets their house ready, and all that stuff, all that crap stays in the house, and they photograph it, and people come and look at it. And let's really stop and think about this, okay? Let's really stop, okay? So, that person could have the worst taste in the world, right? It could be a person that's owned that house for 80 years and has, 1939 stylings in their house, or I mean, it seems like I've shot enough homes in my life. I've never seen this, but the person could be like a devil worshiper, right? They could be like a Metallica head or something. So all sorts of things could go be going on. So my point in trying to get across to you is the furniture that's in a house that shouldn't be used to sell a house. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. That's like trying to sell a car, and your photographs for the car have like dents in it and like chip paint. Okay, that it doesn't make any sense the way we do it. And you gotta understand, marketing is very important, right? We all know that. So that's what we're gonna try and do today. We're gonna try and figure out why people do things like this, and it's obviously wrong. But I think what they've done is, we're gonna get into this. I think what they've done though is they've sort of falsely assumed that the costs and the inconveniences that it would take to get those items out of the house and maybe throw them away or maybe move them to storage or whatever, that wouldn't be offset by the added the added money you'd get in selling. And that might very well be true for smaller houses. And I think for everything we're going to say today, that's true. That's probably true for smaller homes, less expensive homes. But I think we do see a lot of the patterns that I'm going to talk about today already when we're talking about higher end homes. Okay, if the person doesn't already have really nice styling in their home just already, then the agent is going to really have to get in there and do a good job. But I think usually what happens, at least in my experience, is the people with nicer houses, they have stylists come in, and most of them are pretty good. And so they're able to just use that styling as sort of a base to sell the house. And I think that's sort of the model that's working right now in the United States, at least for the higher end stuff. Okay, so but let's get in here and let's try and understand what's going on at Fantastic Frank. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, it was years ago I was calling for Fantastic Frank. I think whatever the quotes I said, like these guys are way ahead, 10 years ahead of US. And I think the other things I maybe said, just headlines, right? Um, they are they're ahead in the future of real estate photography, and these are some of the best real estate photos I've ever seen. Right, that's what I said, and that was, I believe, it was only Stockholm. I think that's true. When I made those comments, it was only Stockholm. That's it. Look, we got whatever 10 more cities now. They're moving across countries boundaries. Okay, it could be continent soon. I don't know. Maybe it is already a continent. Do you guys know? I don't know. I don't know where half these places are. But we got Spain here. We got. It looks like. You guys let me know. All right. So what's happening? They're growing, right? This model. Now let's go through their model a little bit. Now, some of what I'm saying is a little bit of a guess, but I think it's very educated guesses. Okay, and let's just go down here and go to one of their listings. All right, just the first one. Let me see if my internet connection can do it. It's already uploading a video and screen recording. Let's just go to the first one here. I'm so sick of all this stuff that pops up on my screen. All right, let's go to this one. All right, so my impression of what they do, and you sort of have to get a feeling for what these guys do. You might want to go over to like their employee about us pages, but just to give you the gist of it all, it's a real estate brokerage, I guess you could call it, but it's mostly photographers and also stylists. And then they have a few real estate agents, right? So they employ photographers and stylists, and then a couple real estate agents they sprinkle in there. And it's a brokerage. All right, I might be sort of exaggerating that, but the point is they really emphasize the styling and photography. And what are we seeing today? Everything's Instagram and whatever Instagram, Facebook. I don't know the other ones. TikTok. I don't even know what TikTok is, but you get the point though. It's very important. It's very important. So these people have tapped in early to the future, basically, or now. It's actually now, but the U.S. is just behind, in my opinion. And what do? Now, in my opinion, the guy who lived in this house, maybe I should go to a photo of the living room. The guy who lived in this house, it didn't look like this, okay? And the reason I've come to that conclusion is because it's not like I've read this or anything, but the places just look too good. There's no way. Maybe they might leave like one coffee table and like work around that. Oh, that coffee table's nice. Let's use that as inspiration. You know, it's little stuff like that. But I think for the most part, what they do is they take everything out. Everything. So they're dealing with a totally empty canvas, and wouldn't that make sense? Think about how, like, the guy we were talking about, the guys selling cars before, right? What do? They just start with a sort of empty idea in their head. They don't start with like some piece of crap 20-year-old car to for their inspiration, right? That has chipping paint and rust all over it, right? They don't use that. They get rid of all that, and they start new, and they think of ideas, marketing, modern day ideas. That's what they do. They take out everything, I would say almost everything except the floors, and maybe they leave a couple of pieces that they thought, wow, this guy had a little bit of style, we're going to leave his chairs in here. Those are cool, you know? That's my guess, okay? Because it just looks too good. There's just no way. And then what do? They bring this stuff in. They probably have a giant warehouse somewhere, and they bring this stuff in. They bought it for, you know, a listing like, say, 3 years ago. Or maybe they rent it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And they bring it in here, and the stylists arrange it, and they get all the pillows, and this stuff is all a big deal. Can we zoom in? This is a big deal. And it should be a big deal. I'm not like making fun of it. This is a big deal right here. This is how you sell a home. This is how you sell a hamburger. This is how you sell a car or a watch. All this stuff. We don't know it because we don't think about it. But the reason you buy the watch you're wearing is because some marketing genius, he got in there and he took a picture of, like, you know, a famous actress wearing the watch, and you know, she had her bathrobe on. Just little details, you know, whatever they might be. That's why we buy stuff, even if you don't know it. You don't just buy stuff because, oh, I like it. No, it's not. You've been manipulated into buying it, okay? That's how it works. So everything is like that in here. Everything. That painting, everything. See the way this is hanging over into that shot right there? That everything was bought and placed exactly. So this is just completely next level. I mean, as real estate photographers, we usually walk in and maybe we might move something a little bit. This is completely next level. Like, they actually plan this out right here. You know, they plan that little, you see there's two of them. Whatever. I don't know, you know. Like, they plan it out, okay? You think I'm joking? They plan this stuff out. Let's just go through a few more of the photos. See, it's a sort of a theme they got going there with those little reading lights. You see, because, you know, these Europeans, they're smart. They like to read. Now, do you think this guy, he's probably like a single guy living in this little place. You think this guy's living room looked like this right before he sold it? No. You don't do that, okay? That's what I'm getting at before. You don't do that. I don't know why they do it in the U.S. I don't know. Because I've shot listings that look absolutely horrible. If I could spend any time in these videos, it's just not worth it for me, monetary wise, to like dig into my hard drives and put up the examples. But I've shot $10 million homes that they ain't selling, and Turns out they don't sell. It really don't. And I even shot one of the same $10 million homes a second time because it didn't sell. A year later, I shot it again. That was actually an example that happens. And look, what did we talk about on the channel before, about 3 or 4 years ago? Details, right? And all the real estate guys will tell you we're not selling a table. Whatever. I don't know what to say anymore. Look, this is the future, okay? It's obviously being proven. Yeah, I mean, I'm having fun this video, but to be honest, to be more serious, I mean, I am getting my real opinion out there, but this is the way I see U.S. versus Europe and stuff. Like, the U.S. has a very, very strong contingent of creative individuals, and they're the best, or some of the best, right? You can think of filmmakers, you know, maybe Martin Scorsese or whoever, or artists, whatever, right? But that's like 0.001% of the population. I think the rest of the United States is actually really bad when it comes to art and style. They don't really understand it at all. And I think, I don't really know how this works, like collectively or whatever, but when you move over to Europe, maybe you could say, I don't know if this is a fair statement, but maybe you could say there's not as many good top artists for some whatever reason, but I feel like when I talk to people, and maybe my sample is a little bit biased, but the overall population understands art a little bit better, right? And sort of the aesthetics a little bit better. I don't know, that might not be fair statements, but that's sort of how I see it. So but I think what's going to happen is this stuff is going to get popular, and it already is. You know, see, look at this. Look at this. It's so beautiful. You don't. I mean, it's just so. It's so beautiful. It's so. You know, there was a couple guys sitting there for hours trying to, you know, moving it a quarter of an inch over. I mean, really, it's not like a couple of truckers just threw this stuff in there and slapped it down and took a photo here. Okay. It's not okay. It's so good. It's just scary. All right. And it's very easy to see. It's so good, and it'll sell a house. And so that was another topic I wanted to touch on. Maybe the reason they do this and they don't do it in the U.S. is because you just wouldn't get enough money to justify all this cost. So, you know, I think it's arguable. And I think it depends on the market and how much the home is worth and a lot of things. But I do think there's a certain cutoff point in a certain area, you know, definitely above $1 million or so, at least in Southern California, where this stuff could really, really pay off. And I think we see this for the most part. I mean, I know I see in my area people doing like Hollywood grade videos for some of the listings, you know, the you know, just great stuff. So we see stuff like this, but I just feel like this is coming. All right, I feel like it's coming to the U.S. and it might take a while. I still feel like the 5 to 10 year horizon is there, but it might take a while. But I think it's good to be abreast of this stuff, and I think it'd be really good for your business to think about working stuff like this in, like photos like this right here in. You know, it's a wall and a desk and stuff. This isn't my favorite one, so let's get a good one. That one where they had, this is the first time I looked at this. Like this one. I really like this one, okay? So this is the future, all right? This is the future. So start to mix stuff like this in. Your clients could put a little square thing on Instagram if you took this, right? A little square profile thing on Instagram. Bam, right there. And they could just list the address and people would come to see it. And there's people that get crazy about this. They just don't know it yet, all right? So that's what I think. It's a fun topic. Stay tuned for my let's see, 2 hours still. It's uploading. So we went through a little single shot in this next video. So a little, you know, on-site video. So stay tuned for that one. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.